plenty of chances to come back. And, ooh, even starboard's correct. That's a little bit nifty. Alright, guys, well, starting here in the lower left corner of Daybreak, it's going to be Vega's Blue Terran Bunny. And his opponent in the top right location, spawning. He was victorious game 1. Can he get game 2? It's the Pink Protoss Runa. And that's about it for fancy introductions. I'm trying to get used to actually using the camera swivel, so sorry if it's a little bit awkward. But I really do like Terrans. For those who don't know, I'm very Terran biased, and I'm curious to see what Vega Bunny has in store. You can do a lot of stuff to really catch your Protoss opponent off guard. You know, you can do something crazy like double racks early on. I mean, as long as you've got good micro, that pressure can be effective. We've seen crazier things though, like Marauder rushes, etc. But I think, being a team league, this will probably be a little more played close to the vest. We'll see what happens. Now, unfortunately for Runa, of course, you know, when you're playing Terran, you can't take that early expansion. Not for free, at least. You can't take that Forge Fast expand. Not for free, at least. And, you know, you're kind of forced to play a little bit smarter. And I think scouting information plays a much bigger role in this matchup than in most others. And I only say this because you need to know whether your Terran took that gas at 13. You know, is your opponent going to go gas first before barracks, as we see happening right now? Will there be some sort of weird Hellion drop, Banshee play? Who knows? And that's what Runa needs to find out, but sticking close to home, no real scouting information. A little interesting too, because, you know, quite often you'll see, you know, when you're fighting a Terran period, that worker scout, then, you know, your Terran players building that barracks, start poking that SCV all day. But does not seem to be the case, and Runa going for a Nexus first. This could be interesting. If Bunny decides to do something like, say, for example, Hellion Elevator drop, or some sort of 1-1-1, or just any variation of play that involves gases early, Runa could be caught severely off guard because that's a huge investment early on. And taking a little bit of an elongated path around the map right now. And the gateway coming down, so we're not going to see any sort of weird cannon or forge placement. And that factory is already started. Marines under production. And Bunny's shaping up to be able to, I guess, play pretty standard. This third Supply Depot will go down. Oh, he's not actually going for the third Supply Depot, sorry. Gotta keep that probe out of the base. And Runa opting to retreat rather than sacrifice it for information. Did not get confirmation of the factory already being built. Reactor coming down as well. And I mean, guys, Hellions beat out Zealots, they beat out probes, more importantly, and we'll see what happens. Zealot being chrono boosted out, and of course, you know, Hellions don't have the highest damage or rate of fire, but, you know, they've got that range, they've got that speed. And the worst thing too is, like, on maps like this, ooh, I was hoping to see a proxy starport. I was going to look for it over here, but it is all the way over here, so we're definitely going to see some Hellions elevated up to the high ground. Now, of course, your opponent... Oh, Runa will actually catch the starport. And the most annoying thing about this is, if he's paying attention, you can shut this down, as there's way too much build time left for that SCV to live. But another one and the Marine coming across the map. This should give him proper indication, though. I need to have a stalker, and I need to watch my side, because if you Hellion from here to here, you get in, you fry so many probes, you don't even have to do any real damage other than the probe damage to set yourself very far ahead in this matchup, and that starport is nearing completion. Now, to explain as well for those who may not know, the choice of proxying this, of course, is just to get it a little bit closer, save a lot of time with that medevac build, as we do have 2 Hellions on the field, another 2 nearing completion, just popping out now. And, ooh, Runa maybe realizing the jig is up. No, actually still going through with that medevac, poking around the front now. And Runa maybe not realizing what is coming his way. I'm curious because there is no real stalker protection here. There's nothing ready to catch this medevac. And these Hellions are going to try and keep Runa's attention at the front of the base, but he doesn't want to lose one of these Hellions, not this early. He needs them for that medevac. Now, there are 2 stalkers on the field, but these will not shut those Hellions down by any means. Hellions, of course, light armor, don't take any extra from stalkers. And that speed bonus will keep them alive for quite a long time. And oh, dropping in the fog of war. He's going to get right into the mineral line here. Begins frying these probes. And oh dear, this catches Runa off guard pretty severely. And of course, even if one of these Hellions does go down early, you only need 3 to do a lot of damage, and so many probes have been killed this early. 18 probes coming into the natural. Oh gosh, this is pretty bad for Runa. He's going to be in some rough shape recovering after this, if he even can. 3 Hellions even escaping with that medevac. And that is some early damage. Now, you know what? This is a strategy people use in the ladder a lot. It's considered a little bit all in because it doesn't leave you with too much at home. And if you get pushed hard by an early 4-gate, this completely blows up in your face. But right now, you know, Runa did not get that opportunity, did go for that early Nexus, and Vega Bunny making him pay the price for it. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about, guys. You have to put bunkers down. You have to put Marines down. Any sort of retaliation, you cannot handle. And really, that's Runa's only choice right now. He's getting an Observer out, but he can't even with Chrono Boost macro to catch up to the Terran player, especially since Bunny has his own natural completed. And oh no, not wanting to let up on the pressure, not for 1 second. Bunny already heading back out with this medevac full of Marines this time. Observer looking for that starport, but it was taken back home. And again, guys, I want to stress 24 workers were killed, a total of 30 to 20 right now for our Terran player in the lead with mules. He's in a really good position, and as long as he does not throw this, Runa should be in a lot of trouble. And now, of course, the other catch to this is all the units are on the low ground, and we have those Hellions that did not get picked off earlier, repaired mostly all the way back up. And Runa's going to be forced to choose. Do I lose my army, do I lose my probes, or do I lose both? As Bunny is coming to the mineral line, but Runa spots this early, pulling the probes to the natural, but that's exactly what Bunny wants! Oh, not pulling to the natural, at least just pulling to the side, but this is still what Bunny wants, picking off that sentry, forcing all mining to cease completely. That drop was cleaned up, or at least forced to be picked up. And Hellions are still getting some drone kills, but at this point, these Hellions were already, or should have been already dead. So this is all just bonus at this point for Vega. 30 workers killed. Oh dear, oh dear. And that medevac pressuring probes off the mineral line again. This has hurt the economy of Runa so devastatingly badly. And yeah, I should have said it. I did it incorrectly, but barbecue for those Hellions, in the words of our co-caster, Bad Fat Panda. For those who haven't seen us, by the way, anytime we've ever done team games, the strategy is pretty much just build Hellions and win. And you guys are seeing firsthand here why. Now, it does look like Bunny, sorry guys, we paid a lot of attention to these Hellions, going for a bit of a Marine tank follow-up. There is siege mode already completed on these tanks, so Bunny throwing this around, going to get some more Hellions out, I guess. Swapping out these barracks, 4 more on the way. And truthfully and entirely, you know, I hate to call someone down and out. We've seen crazy comebacks, but Runa is hurting. And I mean, sitting at home, turtling up, this is not what you want to do when you're this far behind. Now, granted, if we take a look at the income tab, Chrono Boost has helped a little bit, 49 to 35, both players off of 2 base. But again, I mean, that is a huge disparity. And Bunny actually moving his 3rd base out to location, already in orbital. Going to see tons of mules coming down. And I don't know. This could be Bunny bringing it back for Vega. But again, this is kind of his game to lose at this point, folks. Yeah, Robo started. We got an Immortal. We'll have like maybe a Colossus out. But look at this. There's no support for these heavy units. There's not a lot of sentries. There's one sentry with a lot of energy, granted. But if you don't have anything to protect your heavy-duty units, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And Bunny actually scanning the fact that the Robo Bay wasn't completed yet has got to make him feel good. But it also does prompt the Viking production, as we see here in the top left. Quite a few Marauders, or sorry, Marines. Not too many Marauders, 4 Marauders, couple tanks. But again, his opponent does not have that much for him to worry about. The supply tab says a lot about the story here, guys. 120 to 78. And one lone Marine confirming that there is no 3rd base, and if this doesn't make Bunny feel good, I don't know what does. Between that scan and this lack of a 3rd, he's got to be feeling very confident. Or sorry, confident, but definitely competent as well. And I do want to stress here that, you know, confidence is one of those few things that can kill a player. We recently saw QXC lose in the team league to just complete dominating confidence, thinking he had his Zerg player down and out in what is almost a very similar situation, getting that very early game lead, picking off a lot of workers. But he lost that very badly, and I don't want to see that happen to Bunny. So yeah, look at this. I mean, this is the right composition for an army. It's just not the right amount of numbers. A couple more sentries. I mean, sure, Guardian Shield will help against the Marine fire, but look at this big streak of blue coming across the map. I mean, this is 3 tanks, a ton of Marauders, even more Marines, and I wouldn't be surprised if Vega split off and hit the main with a drop while he engages the main army, because he can certainly spare the forces to do it. Some High Templar have been warped in, but Storm nowhere near completion. His best bet right now would be to morph these into Archons, but he could try and wait it out if Bunny takes too long. But without that Storm, I don't see him wait for him to equalize these forces. Those rocks even being taken down right now, so even twice the many force fields. Runa can delay this, but only for so long. And a 4th command center coming up at the 3rd base location. Observer, of course, sticking with this army. I would like to see Bunny throw down a scan, maybe catch this and just pick it off real quick, but again, it's just nitpicking because Bunny is so far ahead. But the longer he waits, I feel the longer he's going to be in trouble, because now Storm's complete. Now there are Templar with energy to Storm. And he did not have this advantage before. Command center being floated to the 4th base location. Probably a 5th going to go down as well. Yes, sir, in the top left. But this is what I was talking about with confidence, guys. Bunny, 100% still ahead. Ghosts on the way. Mobius Reactor. I mean, this 1-1. This is great. As our Protoss player has no upgrades to be heard of whatsoever. 4 more gates coming down. Double Forge realizes he's got to catch up to this game, but this is kind of that timing window where he's so far ahead. If you let your opponent catch up, if you let him get to that 200 mark, it does not matter how good your economy was in the early game. It does not matter that you picked off, you know, how many probes was it? 30 workers. If your opponent catches up, it's going to be really hard to take them down. And we all know a Protoss army grows in strength as its numbers increase, and that is pretty much what we're seeing here. A lot of Zealots, a lot of charge underway. Sorry, not a lot of charge, but charge is underway. And oh gosh, I don't know. Runa knows where the army is. He's seen it. He's been a little distracted with trying to kill this factory. It is on fire though. Feeling the little StarCrafts shorts making their way here. A little bit of a debut, but only 1 Colossus. I believe 3 High Templar, all with enough energy for plenty of feedbacks against Storm. So no! Oh, beautiful snipe and EMP. Oh, sorry, no EMP. I thought I heard the energy. Or the sound, my mistake. But beautiful snipe on that first High Templar. Taking it out of the fight immediately. And he's got to be careful because there are a couple more in the back, and we see this engage happening. And the Terran army, I mean, it's crunched up. There's Storm, there's Stims, but it doesn't really matter as our Protoss player is just kind of GG. GG!